One thing you might not think of when visiting the United Arab Emirates is seeing an aviation museum, but they do have one. It is not like your average aviation museum, however, and there is not a single example of a military aircraft here. Today I am at the Al Mahatta Air Museum in Sharjah, and this is probably one of the smallest air museums I think I'll ever visit. However, one of the exhibits is a Dakota, so for me, it's mandatory to come here. The Aviation Museum is located in the city of Sharjah, just north from Dubai. It can easily be reached by taking the bus, and the museum itself is a short walk away from a large open area that is dominated by this mosque. Obscured by the high-rise tower blocks being built in the background is the museum, and this may look a bit odd, as there is a control tower here. What you've actually visited is the old airfield of Sharjah, and the buildings include the terminal building, which has been perfectly restored to how it would have looked back in the days when this flight outpost was set up. As you may have guessed, an aviation museum with just 5 aircraft on show is not going to take a long time to get round, but they are immaculately restored and all have one common link. Each of these aircraft are in Gulf Aviation livery, an airline set up in 1949 to serve the nations around the Persian Gulf. The first aircraft that you'll notice is an all-over silver-schemed Avro Anson. These aircraft are usually more well known as RAF military trainers with a machine gun turret mounted on the back. Besides this is a light utility aircraft called the Ouster Autocrat, an immediate post-war plane designed for aero clubs, charter flights and aerial photography. Next along is the main reason I wanted to come to this museum, to see an example of my favourite aircraft, the Douglas DC-3 Dakota. An elegant commercial passenger plane of the 1930s, it is easier to name places around the world where this aircraft didn't end up serving. The museum allows you to get up close to the aircraft, sometimes needing to make sure you're not going to accidentally hit your head on a propeller blade or a wing panel. The last 2 exhibits are from the de Havilland Company, and the first one of these is flying right above you. This is a de Havilland Dove, an immediate post-war British designed aircraft that was very popular around the world, both serving as a civilian airliner and a military transport. On the ground to one corner of the hangar is the 4-engine development to the Dove, known as the de Havilland Heron. This was essentially a scaled-up version of the Dove, with 2 more engines added to the wings to provide extra power. When I had said there were only 5 airframes at this museum, that's not strictly true, as there are also 2 forward fuselage sections of 2 more British airliners. One of these is the de Havilland Comet, and the other is the Vickers VC-10. Sadly, not all of these aircraft remain, but with limited space at the museum, they would have had difficulty keeping these 2 large jet-engined airliners in one piece. What has been saved allows you to take a look inside the cockpit sections of the de Havilland DH-106 Comet, together with all the cockpit instrumentation that the pilots and navigator would have used. The Vickers VC-10 remains are quite a bit more substantial, and you also have a section of the cabin complete with passenger seats, plus the cockpit at the front. This aircraft section would have taken up a lot of space inside the main hangar, so the museum has interestingly decided to display it as if the nose had crashed through the hangar doors. The remainder of the museum has many exhibits connected to flight, including working scale models of engines and large display boards of information about all areas of aviation. But one part in particular that is worth taking a look at will transport you back in time to the founding of this site as an aviation outpost. A cinema projection in one room shows the day-to-day managing of flights from 4-engined Heracles biplanes. If you have enjoyed this video on the Sharjah Air Museum, why not leave a like and follow my channel for more, and I'll bring you many more air museums from around the rest of the world. However, until next time, see you around.